These are the book and records from my Gen X toy collection. The oldest record player I've seen was an Edison brand that my dad had that was a cabinet one where the phonograph actually adjusted volume by how far it was away from what was probably an old pressed wax record. And the ones that we had growing up as kids was one thing, then they kind of went away, and now you see a return of vinyl for the nostalgia of it, I suppose. Regardless, I'm talking about Gen X kids, what we grew up with, and they were the mostly wooden cabinets that our folks had at home to play and torture us with their old-time music. This is my collection of what's mostly book and records and a few records only. The first one screams Gen X. It's actually a Ghostbusters record, and it's on, I don't even know what this came off of, but it says cut here, so it was some kind of sheet of something, but you can see the track in the outside, and it looks like it was actually from Ghostbusters 2. So don't remember if that was a theme song or what. I do not have a record player today to be able to play these. The next one again screams Gen X. It's a song from the Karate Kid Part 2. Yes, there were Part 2 and even 3 if I remember right. But this is just a single from that. It's actually Peter Cetera, who I think played with Chicago if I remember right. Glory of Love. The next one is La Bamba from Los Lobos. I can't remember for sure. I think Lobos might mean wolf, but my Spanish is a little bit rusty. And with that, about the time that came out, the movie about Richie Valens' life, they'd printed in the paper the lyrics to La Bamba in both Spanish and English. So I had that captured in there as well so that I could sing the Spanish, but also knew what I was saying in English. Next is on Peter Pan Records, and it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And this is a 45, you'll see. So it says 45 RPM. That's the speed that most of these little singles would play at. However, most of the book and records that you're going to see actually show to play at 33 1/3, which was the speed for the bigger albums. And the real old ones, I think, played at 78. So whatever record player you have, make sure to look at the record to see what speed you need to play it to sound right. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a Chipmunks or a Creepy Dark Voice. The next is Snap Crackle Pop. Yes, even breakfast food had to get on the bandwagon and create albums for us to listen to promote their products. This is before everybody gave you a website for everything. They promoted their products in other ways. This is pretty unique. Spooky Stories. If I remember right, I think I cut this off the back of a breakfast cereal box. And it's just this creepy little song that plays. But it's kind of interesting that they could apply a record, 4 songs, to the back of a piece of cardboard. The next one is brought to us from Bond, James Bond. Actually, that's more of a Sean Connery Bond than a Roger Moore Bond. But this was from View to a Kill, the Duran Duran title track. And of course featuring Roger Moore and a couple others. But big 80s movie, and I believe Christopher Walken was in that as well. Now starts the actual book and records, which there's quite a few of. And a lot of these are from what looks like a Disney collection of some kind. So the first one is The Black Stallion. And there's a 24-page book. That was kind of the standard for this brand. So they have the record in the back that you play along. And it basically, and it says there, Daniel 83. But you basically read the little story. And as you're reading it, you play the record. So for young kids learning to read, this was kind of a helpful way to do that. Next one is The Black Stallion Returns. Then we get into the very Disney-ish with Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. Next one is Davy Crockett. And we here in Texas know him for saying, "The rest of you may all go to hell, I'm going to Texas." And this is from the Little Golden Book and Record, which I think also did a lot of Disney stuff. And there's a Disney logo up in the top. This does have a piece of tape down the side, so I assume it kind of tore at one point, but still usable, of course. And it is the story of Frosty the Snowman. Another Disney, The Jungle Book. And this, of course, is the old cartoon version before the more real-to-life ones that came out recently. Next is Peter Pan, again in cartoon. And this one is Peter Pan meets Captain Hook, and it looks like it's similar, but maybe a little bit different brand or something. Next is Pete's Dragon. This one's a little bit more adult of the group, Raiders of the Lost Ark. The Rescuers, which I don't even remember that movie at all from childhood. This one, Richard the Sharp-Eared Reindeer, which I don't really remember what that one was about either. And Disney's Robin Hood, which was done with foxes as Robin Hood and Lady Marian, and a bunch of other animals of different types for the supporting cast, apparently. Whoa, Raggy! That's right, Scooby-Doo. There's Tron, which would also be a very dated video game these days. Winnie the Pooh story. And the last is The Wizard of Oz. Like with all of the individual collections here, this collection of book and records is on the Excel file that's downloadable on my website with the link in the description below. So you can look at it and you can check out the full inventory of what's included with this collection. As soon as this posts, it will be showing up on eBay as an auction as well. If you haven't done so, please click the link below to subscribe, click the little bell for notifications, and let's live for today.